Straight away, you can see the art here. You can see the appeal. These are not just 3D folders, HD 3D folders.
Yeah, so high definition, you expect nothing less from Stamps by Me, but what the beautiful thing is about these is that we have those inlay pressed flower dies. So they now have all of the embellishments with a die cut that you pass through the machine and it cuts them all out as individuals. But guess what? They're 3D.
I like it.
Totally awesome. However, what else is beautiful is, and I'll show you when we get to demo, the die can be taken out. It's just held in with some low tack tape. So you can take the die out and have your wonderful 3D embossing folders, and you can do all of the lovely techniques that we do anyway. They go through all of the machines, just check your plate system, and you can get embellishments. So normally, when we do like these sort of flowers and leaves and things, and we run our dies through them, we don't get the veins and the detail, do we?
No, no.
So whereas with this one, we've got those beautiful embellishments, but they have the 3D capacity. And the beautiful thing about them as well is, guess what? We're not put in a box or governed by the shape of the embossing folder no longer. I can build my composition myself. If I wanted to do an 8-foot by 8-foot wreath, I could. If I wanted to do a slimline card, or a 5x7 or an 8x8 and so on and so forth, then I could absolutely do that. If I want to do corner to corner, top to bottom, I can do it. And they all cross-pollinate, so they're all going to work beautifully on your cards. All you need to do is pick the colour, or, as you all know, with our lovely embossing folders, you can leave them truly beautiful lit white.
Oh, happy days. Well, there you go. So if you just want the backgrounds, brilliant. If you just want the actual cuts, great. But passing it through, cut and emboss, that's a fantastic.
It's wonderful, isn't it? Because normally when you see them like this, Charlie, you do the embossing and then you have individual dies to cut them out, and the total faff, absolute pain. And they've been like that for about 5-10 years.
A long time, isn't it?
So I think it's cool to have the plate incorporated, but it's not put you in a box again, because you can take the plate out if you want. So I can do the background. So that one is the individuals, but if you look at this one here, look, this is where they've taken the plate out, so you've got a background.
Right. I was just going to ask, because I see. So you can just use your folder for your background.
Of course.
Die cut, if you want to have it separate, absolutely perfect there.
Or all together.
And you haven't even got to use the embossing folder with the die. You just use the die, do your manual shaping.
Are you still in shock?
I'm still in shock, yeah. I am still in shock. I think it's fantastic what you can achieve. And all three of these together, so bundled, you can expect a great discount, and you can. So brand new and exclusive, and so we can't get this anywhere else than Toni.
So you have peony, rose and dainty hibiscus. So you have three really different florals there, all with interchanging sort of foliage elements in there, large leaf, small leaves, buds, berries, and then your focal points as well, all looking left and right, so you can really build up that composition. It's just, they're just absolutely magical. And we're here on Bank Holiday as well on the 28th. With some background embossing folders. So these are going to sit beautifully on top of those background embossing folders. I didn't bring you them today because I felt like it was too much for one show.
Too much to decide on,
broken it down, yep. So if you do get these today, have confidence in what's coming on the 28th, because there's some amazing, amazing background embossing folders.
Even having the foliage, the leaves there, you could do a whole arrangement with this. If you want to repeat them, we're thinking wreaths are obviously... Maybe going for Christmas, actually. I think you could do some lovely pretty wreaths with some of these.
Absolutely, and if you want to paint them up and add the detail yourself with a white gel pen, like you can see from that sample there, you can totally do that. If you just want to spritz them with some water, drop some colour in, because Stamps by Me, with our 3D embossing folders, we were born... they were born out of picking up a brush and painting them.
Right.
And this was years ago. And as time's gone on, there's been so many techniques. They've got more and more popular. They've always been around, but the last few years they've got more and more popular. So people have been able to get really creative with how they're using them, what they're using them, what they're using them with. High definition is that sort of extra depth and dimension on the top and on the back as well. So it's sort of like brand new 3D technology. It's never been seen before. It's really, really difficult. That's why they're not all HD 3D. But on this occasion, these ones are HD 3D, and they are wonderful.
Yeah, and even just spritzing onto them, you get quite abstract with the colour. People braille onto the folders and all sorts, don't they? Spritz
jelly
onto those
plate,
directly.
put them into your jelly plate.
Jelly plate,
I spritzed with some water on my mat earlier, and I dipped the embellishments in and picked them up, and it looked like I had instant light and shade. So I was just like... And it just keeps giving and giving. And I started a demo earlier, and I'm going to finish it in this one because I actually finished it. So I'm going to do it again with you all because I finished it, and it looks awesome.
I bet it does. I bet
And
it
you
does.
like techniques.
We love a technique show. Honestly, you can fit so much in, can't you? So what techniques have you got in mind for this? Joe, nearly 40% of the stock's
so much,
gone.
everyone.
Yeah, thanks so much indeed. You're saving £8.40 there. So if you are going for the bundle, you do save money. It's on 2 flexies also, don't forget that. So 2 payments. It's one today, £19.79 if you're a club member. 727386. So happy days right there. But it doesn't stop. We've got lots more to go through. So Toni, what have we got in front of us here?
So this is spring collection, and this is our Oxford blue, and this is just really what's left from these shows, what we did a couple of weeks ago. Now this is a beautiful uplifting collection that has a thread of that wonderful navy tone running through. So traditionally you will see daffodils, and they're always predominantly yellow and green, where these have been incorporated in from our designer with a wonderful powder blue and Oxford blue. But as you can see, the papers have fussy cut embellishments in there. They have tones of greens and blues and flecks of gold in there as well. Look at that. I mean, that is a stamp.
Yeah,
and it's not gorgeous. A choice off this, ladies and gents. You get 2 8x8 pads, 14 designs, 28 pages. That's in the powder blue, and then the same in the navy, Oxford blue. You also get that wonderful stencil down by the base. And then you also get that A5 stamp where the daffodils are interchanging facing, so you can build the composition up. But if you look at, yep, sorry.
I love it.
If you look at this card here, that's that wonderful stencil, just gone through with some wow powders on there. I'll just tilt that forward for you. Hope. It's absolutely a beautiful collection. And then you get the wonderful A5 stamp set just across here with the script built in as well, with those wonderful sentiments. Now you're showing a plethora of lovely finished
They're beautiful, aren't they?
They're beautiful. I'll just show you these papers real quick. So we're not just got patterns in here, we have your core line like your stripe and your spot, 'cause it's really important for you to get those, because we don't want to cut into our adorable papers with those wonderful patterns on there. And you've got fussy cut elements should you wish, and plain and clean and simple. That's your Oxford.
Yeah.
And then we have the wonderful powder blue, which is that lighter, softer tone. So you can really go to town with your creations here. Mini albums. Now the cool thing about Paper Chain, this is chapter 2. We launched chapter 3 at the weekend, so you might want to check that one out. But the cool thing about this is we do a workshop free. Now you all know on every bit of my packaging we have the QR code. We've been doing it for a long time now. But with Paper Chain you get a specific workshop dedicated to just this kit, nothing more. So you'll have a 1-hour workshop with me on this kit. So if you buy the kit, you'll get the workshop.
Get the workshop. Well, there, happy days. So saving £40
all
again
for
here.
£35.
I know, £35.99. The workshops. So to look forward to.
You cannot get a bag of shopping for that these days.
I mean, it varies, doesn't it? But yeah, no, you'd be chuffed, really, wouldn't you? Yeah. For £35.99, yeah, there we go. So all the papers, yeah, the stamps and the stencil and the workshop bundled together. Yeah, even if that's full price, I'm sure it'll be very popular still too. So 8258. Sorry, you're probably wondering what I'm laughing at. Tony's did the most magnificent little scuttle across then too. That's how I can describe it. What was that?
That's me moving across without making a noise.
It's really impressive, actually. It's gliding. I think
don't give up your day job.
You've got the moves. I like it.
Listen.
Right, so then, what can you do again? So what have we got? What have we got here? It's quite adorable, actually. Right, so then, here we go. Stamps by me. Firstly, we can't ignore the saving we got here, can we? You know, this is the Creative Die collection. So contents may vary here, Toni, but the guarantee here is, of course, the saving. And you're guaranteed the same value. So if you get something different, it'll be the same value. These are all A5. Now, you can't even buy them I couldn't even buy them in for this price, what you're paying today. Okay, let me quickly show you. So you get 4 large dies. Let me show you. 40%'s gone, Toni. Make sure they're in here, nobody's had them. Let me show you. So that's really different, that, you know. I haven't seen a die quite like that. So this is the die. Look at this. Let me put it on some. You go quite retro with that, actually. So I showed this in my demo earlier, if you want to go back and check the show. Absolutely wonderful. Great for masculine geometric. There it is, die cut. So that's that one. Very quickly. I'll not get them all out. Let's show you another. Shall we show you this one? Yep. The value, if I'm going to tell you to buy anything, excuse me, anything today to
get value for money. Although that collection is wonderful, it's brand new.
New exclusive.
This is an incredible. If your budget is tight,
So
this is totally.
I know, like I said, they'll vary, but
awesome.
they're always going to be good, aren't they? You know, that's fantastic. Like leaves, a little bit tropical there.
5x7 die, and then you get the wonderful. Let me just show you that one die cut, because I know probably a lot of you will have been in the garden earlier. So there we go. That is the 5x7. You can imagine that paper piece, maybe glitter card behind, watercolour behind. Then we have this one.
Oh yeah.
Which is wonderful as well. So that die cuts
like
so.
fishing at like quite a bit of rope on there.
Absolutely.
Or wire maybe.
Absolutely. Or then we have this wonderful floral with that wonderful double matte and layer on there. So, yep, its contents may vary. You probably will all get this minus or a change of 1.
Okay, so you can do exactly that or a slight difference.
Yeah, we have hundreds of these, so hopefully you'll get what's on the counter.
Well, there you go. But you are saving £53.46. But that is just a bargain, quick, easy way.
Well, when
of
you think
getting
about
great
that,
art.
that one, this one here, this was $18.99 on launch.
Right, oh really?
Just that.
Just for that one?
Yeah, just look at the metal.
So
it's
the next
just...
few pounds, it's nearly what you're paying for all of them if you're a club member now. Yeah,
let's
fair
move.
play.
Let's move on.
Should we move on? Right. We should just start doing that normally.
Yeah.
You know. We won't allude to it. We'll just, scuttle down as if it's the norm. Right. Okay. There's nothing normal here. But you know what? These prices definitely aren't normal because look, the saving again £53.46. So once again, the contents may vary here with these stamps.
This is stamps.
Yeah.
So that's dies. So if you're a die cutting fan.
Hello. I like that.
Oof.
Hello. Good evening.
Yeah, so look at the words though. Perfect for a crafter. So create, decoration, project, pen, style, dream, modern, art, draw, ink, thought. It's just beautiful. Let me just show you its size.
Okay.
This is where you're going to see your value again.
Yep.
Let's just grab a card, shall we? Absolutely wonderful, I can't tell you. Absolute steal.
Yeah, you can even cut out some of those words.
You could highlight.
They're like buzzwords, some of those, for like mixed media.
Illustration, decoration.
That is a huge stamp.
A5, excuse me, A5.
Beast.
Let me just show you. Let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at this one. A5. It's in a smaller packet, but it's still A5.
So, is it likely we're going to get some of these?
Oh, yeah, probably all of these.
But they might vary.
I have to say contents may vary just in case one has to be swapped out. So,
but
the
value is going to be there. So the value remains the same. Yeah, that's guaranteed. Yeah, busy for both of these. And at the end of the day, it's great just to. It's a quick and easy way of buying and just getting great art for brilliant low prices.
I know.
So how much would normally one of those stamp sets?
$18.99.
Oh, same for these too.
Yeah.
So if these were brand new when you initially launched them, your recommended sort of retail
they'd be $18.99. You'd probably get a £1 or £2 saving because we like to give the discount here at Create and Craft. So let's say, for instance, £16 per item if they were here on Create and Craft.
So it's not much more.
No.
That wouldn't even get 2 sets ordinarily then,
No.
was it?
$35.98 for 2.
Right, right, yeah.
Like I know the figures.
Yeah, I like
I'm here
it.
every
It's
week.
like you've done this before.
I'm here every week.
We know, but look, we really appreciate it. And you know what? Thanks so much for bringing this item to us. And thanks, Toni, for making these deals happen. And thanks to you as well at home because we've had such a busy show. If you are tempted by any of these, maybe think about confirming your baskets because that new and exclusive is not slowing down. You get so much for your money on that. But we've got papers, we've got all... By the way, Joe, we're talking about these stamps, the watercolour paints, thinking about mediums to add some colour. How about the neon? Oh, hello. Neon watercolour paints. How these are really bright then, actually.
These are neon and glow in the dark.
Are they?
Yeah. Emma did a demo on these. They're glow in the dark. She put a torch on them. Unfortunately, I'm not into the clubs and the lights and things, but you know.
You don't like a rave then? You don't like a rave? Oh, she come with us.
You only seen my dancing.
Do you know what? It sounds quite good actually. Yeah. That really makes me laugh.
But I do have them with me, and they are absolute. They're an incredible price, and when I say they are neon, they are neon. So honestly, they are super bright.
So what coloured cardstock would you put on if you wanted to
They go on black and white.
Really? And the coloured as well?
Yeah, as well. So it is what it's left. I have ordered more of these because they're so fancy.
So we get both sets, do we then?
Yeah. Both. Fantastic price. And you get a water brush in each as well. Right, so shall we get...
£16.98.
Yeah.
Like it.
Right, so what are we going to talk about?
I don't know. Whatever. It's your show. Whatever you like. Talk about anything. Right. The weather.
Oh, icing. These ones.
Should we talk about icing? Yeah. Let's talk about these, shall we? There we are, we found something to do.
Thinking about his pizza.
Bad, yeah. Please, I'm trying to be good today. Failed already, but trying to be good. So £4.10 off.
So these are your metals.
You expect something great with those, I think.
Sorry, these are your wonderful metals. So these work incredibly well on black, on white. You saw me brush over the embossing ones earlier, and again, the price. I mean, you get 6 here. And even if you just use them to like a gilding polish just over the top of the design onto the embossing font. I'm going to use these. You saw me earlier, we sold a ton earlier. So shall we just crack on with and just have some fun? Now, I did say we're probably just going to play, but I did start a demo earlier where I showed you. So let's just talk about them as they are, because I think it's important that people will be buying them because of the wonderful thing that it does. So you get your 3 embossing folders, all with the inbuilt dies, okay? So if you look at the die, they're just held in place with a little bit of low-tack tape. You see that there? Just a little bit of tape on there. So I can leave it in, I can take it out. In, out, whatever suits you. So if you just want to make a background, you can just take it out and run it through as a traditional 3D embossing folder, okay? So let's do a background. Let's do it on this hibiscus one today. So earlier I started a demonstration on this one, and I ran it through without the die cut plate. First of all, before I get into any techniques, I'm just going to show you how wonderful they are. Okay. Just run through the machine, okay?
With the die in.
Yeah, let's do it with the die, because this is probably what most of you will do. Okay, you can get into all the techie stuff and the colours and experimenting with them. Let me just show you how they work first, so you've got a clear understanding. So let's just grab my. Shall we do it on? Let's do it on. I'm going to do it on black. Okay. Earlier we did it on white, if you remember. So let's change it up a gear and let's do it on the wonderful black. And because we've got our wonderful Eyes Ink metal ink pads, you're going to really see how wonderful they are as well on the black. So let's just move this out of the way. So we'll do it on this one because this one still hasn't. So you can see the die cut plate is just held in place there with some tape. I'll just leave that in position for you. There we go. But having the beautiful inbuilt die is going to allow me to create composition of my own. So the embossing folders that we've created in the past have only allowed you to do technique with them, whereas these I can do technique, but I can also change the composition because they're all independents, which is wonderful really. So the way that I like to cut these is I put the card to the front, okay, where the die is, and then that's going to push that detail through and cut it through. So I'll just pop that in there like so. Just move these out of the way for now, and let's just run this through our machine. Now they go through all machines.
That's cute machines.
Yeah, they go through all machines. All you need to do is just make sure you check your plates, yeah?
So play around with those.
Yeah, play around with your plates. So
this, in its easiest form, great quality cast, so run it through.
Yeah.
And there's your embellishment, just cut ready to go.
As you saw earlier, I did them on the brushed gold and silvers and things. They look totally awesome.
So the HD, obviously, generally widely known, it's obviously high definition, but in terms of folders, so what does that mean? Great detail then?
Detail, but it's new technology. It's new technology, Charlie, where the dimension is on the front and the back. So on 3D, we have layers on the top. So 3D is anything with a curve. So you could just have
different heights,
but different heights. But with HD 3D, it has dimension on the front and the back.
Oh, I see. Right.
So it can go up to about 7 or 8 layers. We stop when it cracks.
Right,
and
wow.
the card like breaks.
It's really impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, the watercolour paints, they've sold out technically. So in other words, the stock's in your basket. So yeah, I would get those baskets checked out. So there's no more for now. So hopefully soon, but we can't promise anything.
That's just,
I've got it.
I've got it.
Yeah. There we go. Right.
Save yourself, I'll do it down.
Bridget, thanks so much. And do you know what, you are back at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, but it's always worrying about stock-wise, of course, because when it's a limited time offer, like a one-day special or like this, a new and exclusive, I wouldn't hang around. If you decide it's for you, then go for it. I think with flowers, it's just a safe bet.
It is. So I have a wonderful stencil.
Yes.
Which is wonderful, and I've got a demo with using my stencil. So here's just one that I did earlier where I used it as a stencil, so I can create the lovely backgrounds on my cards as well. If I want to, I can do a drop shadow, I can do a halo. The scope to have them like this is far greater, just as a, rather than a normal one. So I've just run that through, you saw me, and I've got all of my embellishments here. Now I can take this out. All you need to do It's just held in with a bit of tape. Can you see it there? Don't use the reinforced tape where you're going to potentially cut your fit self or when you put it back in. It just needs a little bit of like a tape pen, your Create and Craft tape pen, anything low tack, and you can just pop it back in. Okay, so now I have an embossing folder. Now if I want to take these now and enhance them even further, not that you would want to, but if you want to, because you can then take your embellishment, add it back on. And this is what you would normally have to do in the last 5 to 10 years, is you would have to do this individually for every single one. Okay. Can you believe that? Would you want to do that?
I know, right? Can you
Count
imagine?
me out.
If you're batch making, you know, it can mount up, can't it? Yeah.
So if you run this run through now, and this is just to show you that if you do want to enhance one embellishment, a leaf, a bud, go for it.
Yeah,
if you just want to decorate one of them, go for it. There's simply no rules when it comes to this. Honestly, it's so wonderful.
But it's amazing. Like, so the new exclusive, so they're your backgrounds, they're your finishing touches, they're your focal points. And then we're talking about all the different mediums. You know, they're going to be used as stencils perhaps too, as we're seeing. Look at all the different variety of card shapes we've got. And you can just fit them into your style. They're so adaptable. I like that. Right,
let's get some colour on it, shall we?
Right, and that is why, I mean, give me some black card, cheeky bit of gilding wax, die cuts like that, and I'm laughing.
Shall we use the lovely, I'm going to use the pink. Oh.
It is detailed, isn't it? I'm a bit mesmerised by that. Isn't that fantastic? And so even just like the little grain around the petals there. It's beautiful. So I can actually feel the different heights.
You can, it's really difficult. You know, our 3D embossing folders, they are wonderful. They're just amazing. I believe we do the best in the sort of 3D.
They're
but
really
to have
impressive.
HD 3D is just like absolutely wonderful. It's my total
do you know
baby.
what? I know I'm easily pleased sometimes, but it's amazing what's achievable at home. I mean,
with a bit of card.
These days, you know, in craft, it's wonderful. If you've got a die cutting machine like that, that's what you can create in seconds, minutes, seconds, whichever. But that is, if it was like a niche kind of theme, I'd understand. It might be for you, great. But they are going to be used time and time again, aren't they? Wreaths for Christmas. I know I'm obsessed with Christmas at the moment. We're all talking about Christmas backstage. I think we're kind of mentally preparing ourselves for what we know is going to be a very busy month in June.
Yeah, well, that's what we've been talking about, isn't it? So, like now, if you just took a few of the embellishments, like another rose here.
So I just love mirror card, gold mirror card and die cuts like that.
Yeah.
I know it's nothing new, but I love that combination.
So if we took one of these wonderful metal eye ink ink pads, which are so cool, if you take the...
half the stock's gone now, Tony. And you get all 6 colours.
You get all 6, which is wonderful. So here's like what you would normally do, where you put your finger in that pot and you brush your finger just lightly over your design.
Is this slow dry? That's beneficial.
It absolutely is. So you can use them with your embossing powders and things like that if you want to. So
you've got to think quick, it's going to dry.
No, don't worry, it stays wet for a little bit longer, which is wonderful. So I'm just swiping over and trying to be as gentle as I can, because I really want you to see the detail in here once. I'll let you have a look at that. So if I do the red on that one, and then if I do the green on these ones.
Yeah, do you know what it is a beautiful, beautiful technique, isn't it?
Isn't it? It's just wonderful.
So simple but effective.
I mean, I'm not doing anything really out of the box. Now, I did show this in white earlier, but really, to get the most out of these ink pads, the interference element of it is wonderful on the black as well. So I'll just quickly do this, and then I'll let Charlie show. Oh, sorry, sticking to my hands.
What's your choice of gilding wax?
Gold, really. I'm just going to take the gold now and just pick up some.
I know they're ink pads, and just think if you were to use gilding wax.
Probably gold.
Yeah.
Gold is my go-to for everything. Wow powders. I'm just...
And on the back as well. And all of these are included. It's honestly, it's just incredible what's achievable these days, you know,
Gold.
in arts and crafts. And so you've got, you know, even embossing folders were great, but now we're talking HD 3D embossing folders with built-in dies. It's incredible, really. And that is going to be used. If you ever use flowers in your crafts, and the chances are, yeah, you probably will do, or you probably have done, then this is really a worthwhile purchase, isn't it? You know, especially if you're saving money there too. All right, here we go.
So these are on mirror and like a satin mirror board. So you
satin.
really
See that? Oh, that's like a champagne champagne gold. Oh, that's posh, wasn't it? Where'd that come from?
I was just wondering.
That was a nice champagne. That's like a carver gold you got there too. That's a Lambrini gold right there, isn't it? Other brands are available.
What are you on about?
I'm trying to romance the gold.
Here we go. Look. So you can really see.
It's like champagne. We'll stick with champagne gold. But it is. It's like a sparkling. Oh, it's gorgeous.
So you can see just changing the colour, changing the texture. If you use a holographic or if you use our all surfaces new papers that give you the look, which is not got any plastic on there, you're going to get those incredible results. Just an absolutely wonderful. And I think these are going to be built into some of our Christmas designs too. They're going to be built into the Spring Bank Holiday products that I've got coming as well. And I think just having that movement and that scope to be able to be creative with your own shape. Not everybody loves a circle. Not everybody loves a square. Slimline cards are super popular at the moment, so to be able to create the slimline element, because the embossing folder is just giving you the pop out bits, but if you do want the traditional 6x6 the embossing folder, you can absolutely do that.
Just leave it as that.
Yeah, so let's get on to my demo then. So I started a demo, right?
Right, okay.
Earlier.
Do you need a moment to get ready, or are we good to go?
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, if you want to give me a minute, I'll get ready.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Is it not a good time? I'll be right back.
Okay, don't be long.
The time, I won't be. I'm not being told off. I'm getting evils.
You
missed that.
Cheeky.
Evils, honestly. I'm only joking. Right, okay. We have got these. I'm not. That was savage, actually. But you know, nearly half the stock's gone. You know, and it is. I'm just easily pleased today. But honestly, I'm just really appreciate actually what we can do in our homes these days with craft. But no, seriously, he'll be blown away by this. And I'm always excited to see what Tony's got next for us. They're always great quality designs, great quality tools. That is just stunning, you know. If you like your shabby chic kind of look, maybe go with that. And you know what I actually love? And people, if some people put gesso over these, or they put like a base layer of a paint, and then they just get a spritzer. Yeah, maybe like some of the fusion inks that John's got for us in the next down. Maybe just spritz something like that on. And it's going to pool and find its own natural position, that liquid, and it's going to just enhance all of that detail. So you can see where the shading bit's there. Imagine just spritzing into that. It's absolutely gorgeous, you know. But just have a little think now. What card are you going to be using first here? That's a question we think to ourselves, isn't it? It's going to be something rustic and organic looking like craft card. Or are you going to be going really quite wow and glamorous with a bit of gold mirror? Maybe got some holographic cards. You know, I just think white on white, tone on tone is going to be gorgeous with this. And do you know what, when we think about embossing folders, do you know what, in the years, even in the few years I've been into craft, and you know, I've always been blown away by the transformation they can give a piece of card. But now we're talking about folders like this, you know, and yeah, 3D folders. And I've seen them before, of course, 3D folders. But, you know, designs, they are gorgeous. You get that incredible detail, that dimension. Incorporated dies, and to repeat what Tony said, if you want, you just pull them off. If you want, you just put them back in. So you haven't got to use them with the die all the time. But you can make a stack of embellishments in minutes. You really, really could. If you're batch making, yes, you can make and sell with these if you choose to. Do you know, I think all of these are really, really special. Do you know what? There was one card which I saw earlier. Here we go. Right, this one. Can I show you this? How beautiful is that? Frame it. Absolutely frame these. You can do. You know, think what mediums are going to be getting out. Are you going to be spritzing onto the embossing folder? Are you going to be dragging ink pads across? That looks fantastic. But if you want the classic watercolor look, go for it. It's the most magnificent detailing on flowers. The size-wise, I think we can agree that's really important, and that's a really suitable size. On a 4x4, that's going to work. In an 8x8, it's not going to get lost. All these things have been thought about by Tony and team at Stamps by Me, and we can reap the benefits of that. So if you think you're going to get this at some stage, if your budget does allow for it today, it's on 2 flexi. So it's the one today, again, evils again. It's £19. Look at this. See what I mean? Savage. Savage. Oh, stop it. But £19.79 today. Add your posters, you get all of these together. You know what? It's been one of those busy shows. Thanks so much indeed. So we've got like 25 minutes left. Stop it. Right. So, Tony, Joe, what else have we got? Because you haven't seen these yet properly today.
These, you get both. You get both, not a choice of both. These are
like
all
them.
surfaces pads that give you the look of sparkle, look of hammered, look of marble, look of texture without any plastic. So I am trying to be a good girl and be better. They're all the same by the look of that. Be better on the environment, and I just want to get the look, but use less plastic. So here we go. So all surfaces so far give you the look of gilding, marble, texture, hammered, mirrorboard. We have released 8 collections. I've brought this as number 5 and number 6 to TV. They've done so well.
So that there, you can probably tell I'm obsessed with that one. That is posh.
Posh.
Isn't it? It's just, that's just
and you know,
so attractive,
if you
piece.
have foiled card, holographic, I know I've said it a few times, I'm probably like, you're all probably muting me right now because you're sick of hearing it, but if you
I repeat myself all the time, don't I?
yeah. If you have the foiled card or holographic card, you can't stamp on it. It's plastic. You can't really heat emboss on it unless you have a heat resistant. It's sort of like it puts you in a box. It's limited on what you can achieve with it. Whereas with these, because you have the look and it being paper, I can watercolour, I can stamp, I can heat emboss, I can tear, I can acrylic, I can gesso, I can pen pastel, I can use anything on it. It's paper.
Pen pastel, I haven't seen those for years.
They're amazing.
They're fantastic.
They are
I remember
fantastic.
those.
So this is the black one. So you get like starries, some very elegant.
Oh, Joe, I want kitchen worktops
You
like
were
that.
going to say
I
that.
really do. Oh, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Imagine
So the fleck of marble, then the sort of iridescent-y encapsulated glitter sparkle ones that are not actually sparkly. They give the look of sparkle. That one.
Chris is thinking about taking these home and put them on his work surface.
And then we have
Get a bit of
one-
Mod Podge on that, Chris. You know what, though? Wait, joking.
You
But
get
yeah,
away with it.
They are designer.
They are lovely.
There's
Honestly.
just,
And do you know when?
you know, like a nice designer kind of. I don't know why. I don't know. I feel like I exaggerate it there. That's my. When I'm impressed with something a bit bougie, that's me being a bit bougie.
Bougie.
I don't know why. I don't know why I'm doing that. Really. Anyway, I'm irritating myself now. Let's move on. So it's the 2 8x8 paper pads. You're saving £5.30. So yeah, 907 480. Shall I have a look at our demonstration?
Oh, let's change subjects then, shall we?
Yeah, should we do it? Yeah.
Let's
I think
do
it's
it.
best.
Right, so I started a demo with.
They are flying. They're very busy. Look, they are just posh.
And
Nightclub
and again,
bougie.
great weight for albums, great weight for your embossing folders as well.
Yeah.
And I'll show you some embossing folder techniques with them ones in the morning. So I'm
Well,
going
back to
to
the
use
exclusive.
dainty hibiscus this time. This has got quite a nice piece of detail in there. So I started a demo earlier where I inked it up and then I sprayed it and ran it through, and I was absolutely worried when I ran it through because there were water squidging all over. But you know what? I finished it and it looks awesome. So I'm going to show you how I did it.
Okay.
Probably never going to get the same effect, but you know, we'll try, hey? So I'm going to go with feeling them. A good tip for you here is if you feel the raised part, you know that the raised part is going to come to the top. So maybe put a T for top or F for front so you know.
Yeah.
So when you're putting your card in, you know exactly where it's going to go. So let's get some colour on this flat side here. So 3 ink pads.
Yeah, this is what I like.
This is what you like, is it? So I'm just going to splodge some
This
colour.
is for the background. No?
Yeah, but it's going to give me all that lovely detail in and amongst
So it
as
has
well.
to be a water-based ink pad.
Yeah, to spray it. These are brilliant for like
you don't want to
your
stain the pad,
swiping and your iridescence type style
Okay.
ones, and cool for your embossing powders as well. These ones are like, these are our reactive inks. They're out of stock, unfortunately. I don't like talking about them too much because it frustrates. But they will be back in stock soon. So I just pop a bit of pink on there. Bit of purple.
Fandango, I remember the name.
Yeah, and then I'm just like spotting it around. Nothing.
Would one choose to spritz?
I'm
on
going to
one's
spritz.
embossing foil?
I'm going to spritz this one. So you don't have to. You'll get a totally different look, and that's the beauty of these is play around. It's a piece of card. They're pretty indestructible, you know, themselves. So play around. So just give it a spritz with some water. Just unlock this. And then run it through. Now, if you have like squares and lines and you're thinking, I'm going to end up with a checkerboard, this is the technique that I like to do. I just like to finger out the lines, if that makes sense. Soften those lines or a bit of tissue, whatever you
Blend
feel.
it a bit,
Just
yeah.
blend it a bit because I'm not a fan of like the harsh lines, but it's totally preference. And once you do it a few times, you'll probably
Which
just...
is another busy part for the new and exclusive.
Right, so let's get our white card. So I'm just going to put my white card on the front here, and then we'll shut it and we'll run it through, and hopefully you'll see. I'll just show that there. It's all right, it's all right.
Pretty.
I'll run it through. It'll look different when we run it through. I was panicking earlier. Do you know what? Because I did it and all the water was gushing out, I sprayed it a little bit too much. I was like, oh, this is going to look like a disaster. But now I've finished the card and I've seen it through. It looks beautiful. I'll show you in a second.
Yeah, we'll have a look.
I think you'll be blown away. And this is going exactly the same.
4 o'clock.
Exactly the same way. So I'm confident that I can pull it back and make it look awesome. But again, like I say, it is just a bit of card. It's not going to, because you made a mess of it, it's not going to bite you on the bottom. It can go in bin. Just get another piece and do it again. Try a different colour, less water, more water, different texture, whatever you want. So let's just run this one through. Let's just budge that to the side for now.
Oh, yeah.
That's not a bad effort.
There you go. Toni Darroch. That is fantastic.
Right, so I haven't finished there though. I'd like some colour on here as well. So what I did with my other one was I just left it in, and then I took my.
It is. Can I hold this up? That is beautiful. Have I just been your demonstration there?
No, darling.
I thought you might have to leave it back in, but that is beautiful, isn't it?
It's nice, and it's not finished there as well. I just keep going until I'm absolutely happy with it. So all I'm going to do here is in the sort of recess here, can you see the detail? I'm going to add some ink into here. Sorry, I'll just pull in for you. There we go. I'm going to add some ink into the recess of these. Not perfect, just going to get some, and I'm going to use the wonderful neons. So all I'm going to do,
sold out. Well done, I forgot those.
Is I'm just going to paint in the recess. This is quite a cool technique. So add some water, paint in the recess.
Oh, this is, honestly, even just this technique, have hours of fun with this, couldn't you? You know?
Absolutely, and it doesn't have to be messy. As you all know, I am not a messy crafter. I do stay clear of mess, but honestly, you get so much out of the texture that you get with these HD 3D.
So what card? Do you have a go-to card?
So this is just 250 white, smooth card, nothing fancy. I don't spend a fortune on card. So I'm just popping a little bit of colour into all of the design there. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And what that's going to do is this pink is going to sit in all of the veins of that hibiscus and transfer hopefully into this bit here. So I'm just going to grab the embossing folder here. I'm going to take my design. Oh, make sure it's the right way, Toni. Oops, a daisy. Wait a minute. Have I painted the wrong side? I have painted the wrong side. Do you know what? I'll paint both because.
Well, that's part of the demonstration. You're showing what not to do.
Because that will go into there. So I'll do both. Yeah, so make sure you paint the right side. But let me just pop some on this one too. We'll get 2 for 1.
There you go. Half of the stock's gone now of the brand new and exclusive. So, yeah, as the name suggests, you can't buy this anywhere else. Very busy to our friends in America. Hello to everyone across the Atlantic. So good to have your company. Thanks for flicking on and joining us.
Oh, nice to have your company, everyone.
It is wherever you're watching from. You're always welcome here. And it's a lovely set to have this. And if you are thinking of home decor, yes, they're really good sized petals. So to have the built-in dies is wonderful. You can take the dies out, as we've just seen, if you choose to. So they're your background makers, toppers, finishing touches, all in the one folder. It's amazing. And you get 3 of them, so each one's a different design.
Yeah, so as you can see, they're both painted. And this is probably not a bad thing because you get 2 for 1. So if you maybe don't like the original front, which you were going for, then you might get a nice back. So there you go. I just painted that neon paint into those recesses. And I'm just going to take the embossing, one that we've already done, and I'm just going to line it back up as you would do a normal. And then we're just going to shut this one. And we're going to run this one through and see what this comes out like.
It's going to be brilliant, isn't it?
Oh, we're not finished yet.
Really?
Oh, no. I was, whilst John Lockwood...
Over the top,
whilst John Lockwood was live over there, I was like, right, I'm going to have a play. Okay. It doesn't actually look anything like the other one I've done, but I like it so far, so...
Yeah, it looks great. Oh, yeah. I'll tell you, this is great.
Now I have detail on there. And the beauty about this is, let's have a look on the back.
Yeah.
You get the detail in there as well. The other thing
they
about
do bring out the lines and the detail there.
The other thing about this is which is fantastic, guys, is if you ink up the back of the embossing folder in black, which I will do actually, it's going to hide all of this white and I'm just going to be left with a pink. Does that make sense? So let's just give this a little bit of a spritz with some water. So this is where the fun happens.
It's not tearing the
I was a bit of a giddy kip. Look at that. I was a bit of a giddy kipper earlier. And then I just took some of my colours. And this is where now we can sort of like tie it all together. Nothing too fancy, but make sure whatever you do, you leave some white. Don't be like dinking it all on the colour, if that makes sense. Can you see how there's a bit of white there? I'm absolutely going to leave that bit white. Let's get rid of that puddle. Let me just get my tissue. And we're not finished. Let's just lift out some of that water there. Right. See if you use too much.
What's your thought process now?
I have no idea.
I'm missing something.
This is absolutely totally out of my comfort zone. And the only reason I'm doing it now is because I learned earlier that just stick with it and it does come good. Okay. Now, just going to blast this off a little bit.
For me, that's finished. But if people think, right, what would you do? Because it's making the decision what it needs next. You know? By the way, just whilst that's drying, the ink pads, by the way, 60%'s gone. Metallic icing ink pads. Here we go. So, yeah, it's the 6 pads. Shall I just make this dance a little bit so you can see? Yeah, there are the 6 colours. What's it like on white carpet?
Beautiful. I've done some on my earlier demo as well. Just absolutely awesome. And the affordability, and to be able to have that sort of gold pigment as well, just to sit on top, you know, at that price is wonderful. I'm going to use the gold again in this one as well. Yeah, yeah. I just got one more step to show you on this, and then this is where it's sort of like two stages I've got left to do. Okay. I'm sorry, it's quite a long demo. It's not like
great.
me.
Never apologise.
It's not like me, but it's wonderful, isn't it?
We've got 15 minutes left.
Right, so I'm going to take my piece here, and I'm going to make sure I've got it the right way first of all before I do anything. So what I'm going to do now is this bit here on the flat piece, I'm going to take my black ink pad, and I'm just going to swipe my black ink pad all over here. Get some nice coverage on there. Yeah. And as you can see, it's going to pick up a little bit of the detail because it's HD. And the detail, and the detail is just not on the front of our embossing folders, it's on the back as well. So you are going to get it pick up a little bit of detail on there. And then I'm going to take my embossing element here. And I'm just going to, without trying to be a mucky pup, put my artwork back in. Line it up. So can you see how good that's going to look? Like so, and then when you're happy, I'm going to shut that. It is still a little bit wet, so I'm hoping because that is a waterproof ink, it'll still transfer, but I think it should be fine. I did dry it off a little bit.
We go through some layers, this card, isn't it?
That emboss is going to be like embossed to
I know, right?
the last inch.
I haven't seen that done. I've seen ink applied to a pad, but not this amount of layers, actually. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go.
Right.
So that's amazing.
Isn't it just, right? So you obviously need to...
So arty.
You need to trim it down, but let me just quickly...
It's like a hand-painted watercolour.
Now, even though that is like a masterpiece on a background, I could still now go around with my dye and take it out, okay? Just because we've done it this way doesn't mean we cannot just put the dye on top and run it through our machine. There's no rules with it, honestly. No. So that's that.
So if you change your mind, you can salvage something.
Yeah, and then I'm going to take the gold.
Oh, we're showing off now, aren't we, Toni?
We're just absolutely showing off. Why not? I think when you have the correct tools in your stash to help you out, life really is easy. And at these prices, I mean...
well, and I was just thinking, if you're worried stock level's going to go by tomorrow morning, if you're out tomorrow morning, then, because it does happen, you know, it does happen. We do, as regular viewers will know, we sell out before the end of the last show on various different promotions we have here. So when it's a limited time offer, if you like the new and exclusive, if you can imagine yourself using all these gorgeous florals with all those layers, then yeah, go for the bundle. It's on 2 flexis, one day with your postage, and you'll have these in a few days, really. It's on the immediate dispatch.
It is. So all I'm doing here is I'm just going in
fab.
and going in and going in, and I did the gold, and now I'm going to go over with a little bit of red, push it back, and I'm going to then show you one I did earlier, and we'll make that one into a card. Now the texture, I'm not kidding, the raised element on here, I'm just going to push that a little bit harder and try and really bring it to life for you so it can really show you the wonderful HD 3D on there. I'll let you.
Yeah, do you know what? That is...
It looks like...
There's so much energy in
mould.
that piece. Yes, it does. It's like it's been sculpted, doesn't it?
It looks like a mould. I'm not joking. It looks incredible.
How about that? But you know what? You could just leave it white, turn on turn if you want. It's still going to look equally as good. But if you have got all these goodies, all these ink patterns and so on...
I mean, if you're into mixed media, you're onto a win, right? Let me
are,
just show you the
totally
one
are.
that I did earlier then.
I think that's lovely.
So that's the one.
10.5 minutes.
So that's the one that I've just done, and it showed... Look at this one I did earlier. Look how different they look.
Yeah.
That's the one...
It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, and that's got... gold, you know, it's the one that I ran through before I went off air, and I did the black technique because I just did with this one. It's not as bright. This needs cutting down, obviously.
And then how was that one done?
Exactly the same, and then you die cut over and then dry brushed over with some white.
Because I love that look. I think it was, forgive me, I think, yeah,
That's
Paul
Paul.
did that. Paul,
Yeah,
I
so
love your work.
If you have your confetti white ink or your acrylic, take a dry brush and just brush over and push it all back.
It's such a clever technique, isn't it?
Absolutely wonderful. Let me make this
Yes,
into a quick
stack
card.
them all up. You know, you can, can't you?
So quick,
Good idea.
pop together. So I have an 8x8 card, a piece of that wonderful black marble from the All Surfaces.
Which we do have on the show.
So this is a big card here, ladies and gents. I have a piece of the watercolour Funky Fossil paper pad, one of my favourites, and then just pop that on there. And then my wonderful, I mean, the deboss is incredible. I don't know if you can see that. Absolutely wonderful. And then pop some glue on here. But you can see how I actually, honestly, I know I've changed the colour a little bit. I used a bit of teal on that one, but you can see the difference in results. I didn't get two cards same, and I did pretty much the same thing.
Yeah,
You know, so experimenting is absolutely king when it comes to embossing folders. They give so much back for their affordability. So there we have our wonderful one that I did earlier with the black, and then I do have a sentiment somewhere. Oh, there it is. And then I did...
So certainly for girls, for guys, you know, that card could be...
And then I'm just going to leave these 3D ones absolutely raw, because I think the detail in the back is enough, and I'm just going to stick that one there. So cool. And then we'll pop this one, and I think we'll leave that as is. So that came from that. Now if that's a bit bright, for me, I would push that back with white like Paul does. But you can see
that is
not a bad effort, that is it? To
Not
say,
at all.
and you won't believe they had inbuilt dyes which we've removed.
It's just bursting with life and energy, that background, isn't
It's
it?
just wonderful.
It's quite captivating.
I'm really chuffed with that card, by the way.
Oh, really good. It's really good.
I really didn't think, it's a bit wonky, but I really didn't expect my background to come out as good as that.
Well, shall I do a really, really quick
Yes,
recap? Yes,
if you want to.
No evils.
No evils.
How are you doing?
Just a shimmy.
Just a shimmy, it'll be fine. I can deal with that. But look, it's been so busy for the new and exclusive, and thanks so much, because you know I do think if you are going to get this at some stage, you know, if you are saving money, you are saving £8.40, and you know I do think flowers, you know, they're always such a popular theme, aren't they? You can just fit them in, and actually, if you grunge them up a little bit, you know, it's not just for particular individuals. I think they can be quite universal, actually. Toni just made flowers look quite cool. You know, actually, they're always pretty, but make them look really, really cool with a bit of a grungy kind of look. Actually, they're very adaptable, you know. And here we go. So which one's going to be using first? And you can get them all together today in this bundle. It's the best value where you are saving £8.40 there. So if it's going to be just left tone on tone, white on white, great. You might take the die out and just use them as a background if you want to. They're going to look gorgeous there. I think if you're going to be stacking them up like the incredible design team have often done here, Make your own bouquets, you know, make your own flourishes for the corner of a card like this. Make wreaths out of these. They could be Christmas decorations. You know, if you get your black cards of gold waxes on there, oh, they can look really warming and glamorous, these. They can look grungy, as we've seen. They can look quite posh. They can look very understated, very, very elegant if you just choose to leave them as white on white card. And it's enough because you've got HD 3D, so you've got detail on both sides. You've got various different heights here. And again, you've got that die if you leave them through. So in seconds or minutes, let's say, you know, you can probably seconds, you can just run it through the die cutter machine. You've got die cuts there. You can just stack them up easily and quickly. And we can make and sell with these too. So fill your boots, as they say. So £19.79. If you think flowers are always going to be handy for you, if you think you're going to be using these, you know, if you're impressed by his demonstrations, I don't think he wouldn't be, that was gorgeous, then go for it. You're saving, like I said, money, and it's brand new today, so very excited for that. Right, let's go back to what Tony's got in store for us. So then, yeah, you can't stop looking at that card, and I understand why. It looks fantastic.
I'm putting it away.
It looks brilliant. Right, we have got on the show about 5 minutes, 5.5 minutes. Dirty hands.
Mucky paws.
Oh, okay.
Let me just...
some sort of cloth.
No, you're all right. I just give myself a rub-a-dub-dub.
Okay.
Right, so let me just show you some other wonderful techniques that we love. So this is the Dainty Hibiscus, but it's cut out a watercolour card. Now, if you're thinking, right, I love the idea, Tony, I just didn't like your last card. It's not me. I'm going to show you how Stamps by Me traditionally do our lovely 3D embossing folders. So so I have a pot of water here, and I'm using our wonderful watercolour brushes. You can see them all at the front here. We have 3 different styles.
I like those stands, you know.
They're absolutely wonderful, and they're such an affordable price for the quality that you get as well. So all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to add some clean, clear water to this lovely hibiscus flower here. And then we can do as that card that you picked up over there, Charlie, with the sort of bluey tealy colours. I'm just going to take some of the blue.
Paul's here.
No, the one that you said like a piece of art. It's 2 flowers and the blue.
Oh, sorry, yeah, the watercolour looking one. Sorry, yeah.
Yep, that one.
This one here, yeah.
Look how cool that is. So you just wet the piece of card all over. That's right. Isn't that pretty? I mean, blue. They're not normally blue.
Beautiful.
So I just wet the whole card.
Paul did that one as well. Paul, I'm liking your style.
And then I'm just going to pick up some of this lovely blue, and I'm just going to drop it in.
There you go.
And what will happen?
There you go.
And what will happen is the ink will just fall into all of those grooves just naturally. And again, to get that sort of light and shade look, don't colour the whole thing. If you colour it all flat, it's going to look flat. Even though it's 3D, it's going to look flat, okay? So try and get into the idea of maybe just doing like up one side, round both sides, and leaving a halo in the centre. Pounds.
Be a bit random with it, I suppose.
If you're thinking, do you know what, you always make it look so much easier than it is, Tony. Well, there are other options as well. You can absolutely just pick up the piece and dip it into the ink like I showed you in the last one. So whilst it's still
what
wet...
a lovely way of just applying colour, you know. Just water, you let the water colour allow the colour to travel where it wants, and wherever it stops and dries, it makes you look fantastic, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and because you've got that wonderful raised, there's so much raised elements in here that it's going to make my life so much easier trying to get the light and shade in there, if that makes sense. Because the paint is just going to sit in all of the grooves. So look, I'm going around that centre part there. Just drop, drop, drop. And then once you've got your initial lay down, and you're happy you've got white spaces, dry it. So step away from it, dry it.
It does, it makes it look fantastic. Do you would you mix up the colours a lot?
Yeah, absolutely. So just take the edge off, and then maybe if you wanted to, you could take a lovely teal or, a purple Fandango, and then you could absolutely drop another colour in there too.
What colour is Fandango, by the way?
So it's like a deep fuchsia.
Right, okay.
It's a cross between like a pink and a purple. So then you can pound some purple in. And this is where you just begin to add those layers, that depth, the dimension. And if you add it and you've got a harsh line, just pull it out with some water. Just let it just do its thing. It's absolutely wonderful. Now let me just show you. I've painted this, okay? You've just seen me do that. I'm just pounds, pounds, pounds. And I have a wonderful sort of flower. And if I did several of these, I can build the card that you just showed there. Absolutely easy peasy, okay? So that's just like absolutely wonderful with the 3D in there. But if you don't want to paint, I'm trying to show you lots of different options. If you sort of wet the whole embellishment to get the watercolour look, and then if you take a ink pad and pop it onto your mat, and then you dip the actual embellishment into some colour, just
oh, I see.
and then you will end up with a lovely
That's pretty.
painted leaf, and it will sit in all of that recess. Can we see that there?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh, my apologies. You'll see the colour will just drop into all of that wonderful detail in there as well. So there are so many options. If you are a total clean and simple card maker, you can absolutely leave them white. I just want to very quickly show you. Look at this. This is a stencil. So this is that lovely stencil where we cut through. I stenciled through on this card and created a background look.
There you go. Yeah.
And then
so make your own crafty tools.
Absolutely. And then very quickly, just grab one embellishment and stick it on with a pad, and look at that.
And you're done, aren't you? There's your card. It's beautiful, you know. Well, Toni, that was excellent show. Thanks so much indeed.